Welcome. We are so excited for you to be here to learn about the RHA collection. My name is Taylor, and we will be joined by PA Jennifer Jordan, who practices at Sanova Dermatology Steiner Ranch, as well as our Pflugerville location, to chat about why the RHA collection is such a big deal. We are going to have a presentation, a demonstration, and then we're going to be doing a live Q&A, so make sure that you stay tuned for that. If you have any questions, make sure you use the questions tab, because that's what we're going to be going to answer those questions later on in the presentation. Also, we are offering you an exclusive deal for joining us today. You're going to save $100 off of a single syringe, $125 off of each if you purchase 2, and then if you get 3 syringes or more, you're going to save $150 off of each of those, which is insanely great. We know that you're going to love this. Also, make sure that you check your email because our giveaway winners are going to be announced there. So enjoy the presentation and make sure to stay for that Q&A.
We brought RHA into the practice because, well, it's just so pretty. It's the newest technology in fillers, the newest technology in 10 years. And what I love about it is that it just looks flawless under the skin. Sometimes with other hyaluronic acid fillers, you can kind of see them under the skin with facial expression, talking, chewing, laughing, smiling. It's almost that you can see that there's something there. You can see that there's been some volume replacement. However, with RHA, this new technology makes it practically invisible. That's why I love it, and patients are loving it too. RHA is different from other fillers because, well, number one, it just, again, same story. It just looks so natural. Sometimes other fillers, after they're placed, you can really feel the filler. RHA to me just feels like it integrates in well with the tissue, making it almost invisible after it's placed. Some patients who are thinner skinned, maybe a filler after it's placed, it's more obvious, whereas RHA, as it settles in and integrates in, it's practically invisible, making the effect flawless. Okay, so this is the fun part. RH can treat a little bit of everywhere. You can use it to treat the temples. You can use it to treat the cheeks. You can use it to treat the smile lines. You can also use it to treat the lips. You can literally use it anywhere you would use a facial filler. The beauty of it is they have a different filler for each place. And it's just knowing where to use each one. It's a beautiful family of fillers, and they each have a specific area for placement. So the person who's a good candidate for RHA filler is anybody who is a good candidate for a hyaluronic acid filler. Men, women, young, old, anybody who is needing instant gratification or a quick pick-me-up. You know, it can be placed in the cheeks, it can be placed in the smile lines, it can also be used in the lips if you need a little zhooshing for your lip. It's a great placement for there. So really anybody who's a good candidate for a hyaluronic acid filler. So the results are instant, right? So as soon as we place it, you're gonna see the benefit. However, there will be some swelling. And the swelling may take, a couple weeks at the most to fully resolve. However, it's most within the first few days after placement. So just be prepared. And everybody's different. Some people swell more than others. However, it can last, up to a year and a half, but this is different for everybody. If you have a fast metabolism, you may feel like it doesn't get the full, year and a half as somebody else who has a slower metabolism, and everybody is different. It also depends on the number of syringes that you have placed, but we ideally like to see you back at least once a year because the aging process continues and you may need a little touch-up at that point. You don't want to let it fully decline and then do the whole treatment all over again. It's best to maintain so that you're simply ageless. That's what I prefer. All right, So when I look at your sweet little face, the things that I notice that age as this time goes by, number one, are just areas of volume loss. Obviously, there's some browns, there's some changes in the skin texture, but the things that we can correct with the RHA filler are number one, so just relax, right? So relax your smile. Number one, the area around here in the chin. And so what we can do is I can actually use filler to soften the area of the chin, to help, basically, kind of help bring the chin back further down. It could soften the area of volume loss that's here. We can obviously soften the smile line. Other things that we notice about the sweet patient is we can soften the temple. We're getting a little volume loss here, which is making us look a little hollow. The other thing that we're noticing is that we're getting a little jowly. And so we're going to use a little bit of the RHA filler to help correct the chin, which is going to help pick up the jowl and make her oh so happy. There you go. Look at your cute little lips.
Seriously, they do it really good.
No. So we put it in your temples. I put some in your smile lines. We softened your chin, so relax, don't smile.
Look, these lines are gone.
Yeah. But do you see how you look less hollow up in your temples, and that helps to bring your eye out, so you look just, yeah, it's very pretty.
Yeah.
So do a big smile.
And I look like I'm smiling.
Yeah.
Like
So
I'm
do a
not
big
frowning.
Yeah. So do a big smile, right? So like it doesn't look like you have something. No, it's very pretty.
It's really natural. I love it.
We hope that you loved that information as much as we did. So illuminating, and we are so excited to go live with some question and answers in just a moment. So make sure that you ask your questions. Remember, the promotion we talked about is only going to be available until the end of June of 2022. So make sure you contact our office, schedule your consultation, and place your deposit or purchase today. Speaking of that, you're going to receive a text message here shortly, and you're going to want to respond yes, so that we can contact you and that we can get you scheduled for a consultation. So make sure you stay tuned for the next 15 to 20 minutes and enjoy this live Q&A with PA Jennifer Jordan and myself. We cannot wait to answer your questions. Hey guys, thank you so much for joining us. I'm Taylor Butler, and this is the lovely PA Jennifer Jordan, who we have here today to help us answer these questions that you have. We hope you loved the presentation and those amazing before and afters. They were so good. So we're gonna go ahead and get into some of these questions here. So if you have one, make sure you drop it in the box. Let's see here. A great question I'm seeing here is, can you use RHA under the eyes?
So yes, you can use it under the eyes, but a lot of times, patients will come in and they're asking about tear trough filler, but really what's going on is they have lost volume in the cheek. And so treating the under eye is actually the last place we treat before we first treat the cheek area and kind of treat what's going on in the volume loss and kind of the mid face. And once we maximize that, then we go after the tear trough. But yes, so RHA, they actually have 3 different fillers. One that I would use in the tear trough area, but first I would manage the volume loss in the cheek.
Love that. Love that. You're mapping out a plan. I think that's the best part, is that you put a whole plan together. Let's see here. Is this procedure more uncomfortable than Botox or other fillers?
So it's not any different than another filler. It's there, it's a needle stick, and so you do feel the needle, or I'll use a cannula. A lot of what you saw in the demonstration video was that I was using a cannula, which I find helps to cut down on bruising. And it feels more kind of like a tug in a pull. It might be a little bit more painful than Botox. However, I have had a patient or two who will tell me that maybe Botox is a little bit maybe more sensitive than the filler, but we can use numbing cream, we use ice, there's some distraction techniques. And so I have a lot of patients who have told me that it's painless. There's a few who will say maybe it's a little sensitive, but it's not terrible for sure.
Well, and I will speak for myself. I had it done recently by this amazing woman here. And it was actually exceptionally less uncomfortable than I thought it was going to be. And I would be on the boat of people saying that I think that the consistent pricks of getting Botox is probably more uncomfortable than filler. It was a lot less uncomfortable than I expected. So I can vouch for you. Let's see here. Do you use or need more filler versus other types? So I guess we're comparing how RHA is to other fillers.
The number of fillers that you need, it really has to do with volume loss. So I always tell patients to consider starting with 3 syringes. It's kind of a good average place to start to see how far we can get with that. I really love RHA and the natural way that it looks when it's placed. And I find that it does a really beautiful job to kind of help fill and restore that lost volume. And I find that on average, 3 syringes goes a long way. Some people need more, some people need less. For lips is 1 syringe. But typically when you're looking at like cheeks and the chin, I think 3 is a good average place to start.
I love that. A really good question I'm seeing here is, does it last longer if you combine it with Botox or a neurotoxin?
So those are apples to oranges. The toxins basically halt that motion, or that, the lines that we make of facial expression, right? So for example, when you make that line right here, that's what Botox would treat, whereas the fillers, RHA, would treat areas of volume loss. And so they have different uses.
Love that. How long in advance should you put numbing cream? I guess we didn't really talk about numbing, and I'm sure that can be a patient by patient situation, but can you expand on that a little bit?
Yeah, so there are some numbing creams out there that work pretty quick. So for example, if you come in and we're doing a consult and I get the gist that you want to do your lips, we can put some numbing cream on there. And even in 5-10 minutes, the strength of the numbing cream that we use in the office, it takes effect pretty quickly. Some of the over-the-counter numbing creams, those may take a little bit longer. But the one we carry in the office, it has a pretty rapid effect. So it varies depending on the percentage of the ingredients.
Love that. And we kind of talked a little bit about the under eyes a little bit earlier, but can we clarify, can this treat the under eye wrinkles, or does it help with dark circles?
Dark circles, those are a little bit tricky because dark circles is really a function of your anatomy, genetics, lack of sleep, allergies. But again, if you're correcting the volume loss in the cheek, it can absolutely help soften or basically distract from the dark circles in the eyes. But it's more of a benefit you get from treating the cheek area.
Awesome. It's a question about RHA filler and the prices of the different syringes, because obviously we talked about how we have 2, 3, and 4. All of those are going to be the same price, which is really exciting. So it's kind of a great deal for no matter where you're placing the filler, you're still getting a great deal. And speaking of deals, let's talk about it really quick. We're still going to take more questions. So if you have them, please make sure you put them in the questions box. But we are offering $100 off of a single syringe, $125 off of each if you purchase 2, and then $150 off of each if you purchase 3 or more, which is pretty much the best deal that we've ever offered. Yeah. So, if you're interested, make sure you let us know.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Okay, and then surprise, if you want to be contacted, or if you prefer not be contacted, a poll just popped up, and you can answer that, and that'll help us figure out how best to reach out to you. So feel free to answer that question now. I did have a question. Can I do a consultation and treatment in the same day?
Yes, that actually happens a lot here at Steiner Sanova. We try to allow time so that we can at least get your treatment started. I mean, that's what you came for, right? Everybody likes to leave feeling that they've already started the process of getting a little facial restoration. So yes, we absolutely try to start it should that fit in with your plans and what you've got going on.
Fantastic. A really great question that I'm liking is, can it be used for the 11 lines that can appear right here?
So my favorite treatment there is one of the toxins. I prefer to use that for that area. And then if they're still really stubborn, use microneedling for that. I don't prefer to use a filler there.
Great answer. This is a really good one too. I have lines around my mouth from drinking out of a straw. Can filler help with those lines?
Okay, so I have actually used RHA 2 for this area around the mouth, and it's practically invisible. It just looks so pretty. And so when you make that pursing of the lips, it's invisible with motion. And so it doesn't look like you have anything there, but it just subtly, beautifully fills in those little lines. And so, yes, I would use RHA 2 there. But I also find that a little subtle filling of the lip, so giving a little bit of fullness to the lip, because sadly, as we all get older, our lips go from being more grape-like to kind of a raisin. And so kind of restoring that volume can also help to hide that those little lines. So there's two approaches to it.
Love it. What about the neck? I'm seeing multiple questions here about whether or not RHA is able to assist with necklines, tech neck.
Yeah, so I would actually use, I would use a toxin to the neck, and then I have other thoughts on the neck. I prefer to use the RHA on the upper face, but we can talk about that when you come in for a consult.
I love that. I do have a question here about another provider at Sanova. We do offer RHA at multiple locations. We do have 6 throughout the Central Texas region. The lovely Jennifer Jordan practices at both the Steiner Ranch and the Pflugerville locations, if you're interested. Or if you already see a provider, you know where to find them. But just reach out to their location, or when we're reaching out to you, we will clarify whether or not your location offers it. Does RHA filler freeze your upper lip like Botox does?
No. So Botox, or any of the toxins, when you do it to the upper lip, it does feel a little funny after it's been placed, but it lasts for like a day or two. But when you have a filler placed, or specifically RHA to the lip, that's kind of the beauty of it. And that's what I was pointing out in the presentation, is that as it settles in and it integrates into the tissue, it doesn't necessarily feel like you have something there. It really is helping to kind of mimic your body's own hyaluronic acid. And that's kind of that's the beauty of this technology, is it most mimics your own hyaluronic acid. And that's why I love it so much. It just it's really pretty.
I do have a question here about a charge for consultation, which I think is a fantastic question. We do charge a cosmetic consultation fee, but when you get your procedure done, that is applied towards your visit. So super simple, a great offering. Let's see here. Oh, I like this question for men, because you can't leave us out. You know, we want to look beautiful too. Can this be used to help create a stronger jawline?
Yes. So jawlines are actually kind of a problem for lots of folks, women and men, and that maybe, men want a stronger jawline, so I can use it to kind of help build it up. But also too, women, as we get older, we might lose bone mass in the lower face. And so you can use it to help mimic that volume loss. And so absolutely, we can use, I tend to use, a combination of RHA 3 and 4 to maybe help build the chin as well as the lower jawline up, to help kind of redefine that jawline, and then help to kind of bring the chin back down to help really rebuild that profile. It's nice.
No, I love that. It sounds amazing.
Yeah.
Let's see here. I just received filler in my lips. Can I treat other areas of the face?
Yes. Yeah. So
again, I have used a combination of other things. The thing again that I like about this filler is it just has a universal placement, depending on whether I'm using RHA 2 or 3 or I use 4. They all have a there's a use for the place to where it just looks invisible. It looks so pretty in the tissue. And what's most important is when we're smiling and talking and chewing, no one can tell. I mean, the patient that you saw in the demonstration, I spoke with her after she had gone back to work and had it placed. And she said that, one of her colleagues, said she had been on vacation and then gone back, and they were like, you just look so refreshed. And she said, I sort of like a Cheshire cat, was in her mind, knew what she had done. But, it was, she loved being able to go back to work knowing that she had done something, but it was invisible, but yet she looked better and refreshed and restored.
That is fantastic. And I was there and I can totally agree. How long after I get RHA should I wait to exercise or fly? Good question.
Yeah, this is a good question. So I don't love for people to leave here and go work out. And I certainly like for you to take the next day off because it just can increase swelling. Flying, I do know that there are some providers who don't have a problem with flying. I would rather you not fly within the next couple of days after having it placed just because of swelling, those kinds of things. But really and truthfully, the exercise, it's just not a good idea. When you exercise, it increases blood flow, increases swelling. And so it's best just to take a little time off.
Yes, and just take advantage of that. What can I do to help prevent bruising? I think that's a really great question.
Yeah, avoiding anything that Advil, aspirin. There's arnica, which is the supplement you can take. There's also topical arnica that you can apply. Those are great options to help with bruising and help to prevent.
Another question that I'm loving is, when will this treatment be available at Sanova Dermatology Steiner Ranch?
It's been here. I've been using it. I've been loving it.
Yeah. Where you been, girl? It's here.
Yeah.
Come get it. The corners of my mouth turn down, resting, sad face. Where can I get RHA to fix this? Or I guess, can you get RHA to fix this?
Yeah. So the downturning, that really is a function oftentimes of what's going on kind of in the jaw as well as in the chin. And so I can use RHA to help support the jawline, the chin, the lower face. You don't want to just put it always necessarily directly in the corners. There's a little technique that you can do to kind of help perk the corners up, but you don't always necessarily want to put it just in the corner because sometimes you can look a little full here. But there's ways that you place it to help lift and support, because you have to appreciate when you lose volume in the face, although this may be the problem or this is the problem that you see, it's an all over facial volume loss. And so you want to you want to restore it everywhere so that it helps to lift and basically restore you back. Because I don't want you to look different than the way you looked before. I just want you to look restored, rested, the way you looked, several years ago. Nobody wants to leave the office looking unrecognizable. That's ridiculous.
And that's why RHA is amazing, because, it replicates what we've got going on already. It's just helping you look more useful and more happy. Let's see. So just wanted to let you guys know, you should be receiving a text message at some point in the near future. And if you are interested in a consultation, make sure that you reply yes, because we want to make sure that we can get to you and we don't want you to miss out on this great deal. A reminder that the promotion that we mentioned before, $100 off of one syringe, $125 off of the purchase of 2 each, and then $150 off of each if you purchase 3 or more. That promotion you are able to take advantage of by placing a deposit and scheduling an appointment by the end of next week. So you just want to reserve that price with that deposit by the end of next week, and then you can come in, get your consultation, and find out where we can put RHA, how we can help you feel and look your best. Speaking of that, how many areas can be treated in one appointment?
Honestly, I had someone yesterday that I did her cheeks, I did her lips, I did her chin, I did her jawline. It's really what you're up for and how many syringes that we use. A little goes a long way with RHA. And so honestly, there's a lot that can be done, but it really depends on your consult. Not everybody needs all of these places. Sometimes a little bit in the cheek goes a long way to help soften the smile lines. And so I don't want everyone to feel like, that we're going to be putting it everywhere, because not everybody needs that. But there's a lot that can be done in one appointment, and we're pretty efficient.
I love that. Gotta get it figured out. Let's see here. Oh, I just have a sweet message. I have an appointment tomorrow and I'm excited to try this. That's so sweet.
It'll be fun.
Yay, so much fun. I think we are getting to the end of our questions here. I have one more. I say that and I'm trying to find said question. I think that we've gotten to just about all of them. If you have any other questions, it's a great thing to reach out to our office for or talk about during your consultation. But I just want to thank you so much, Jennifer, for giving us your time, sharing your expertise. I want to thank you guys so much. Remember, you should be receiving a text message and a call from us if you're interested. And we can't wait to see you and see how happy and beautiful you're going to continue to be. So thank you so much for your time and have a beautiful Thursday.
All right. I like to say happy Friday Eve.
Yes,
Bye,
love
guys.
that.